Welcome. You're in the right place at the right time. It is Tuesday at 5 p.m. Central Standard Time. And I want to thank you guys for coming out and hanging out with me on today. We're going to have a very interesting show today, fun filled. I was told, I was given this script to read, over the weekend. It says, back by popular demand. So I got it in, so now he can't say I didn't say it. So, back by popular demand, Norman is back with us from the Prince Hunter Financial Group. And I'm looking forward to drilling him today with some questions and getting some more good stuff out there to the people, to the peoples. All right. So, first thing I want to do is invite you guys over to my website, ask-dr-ron.com. When you get over there, I want you to browse all of my advertisers. Without my advertisers, I would not be able to do what I do. And I thank them. I support them. I vetted them out, each and every one of them. They actually do what they say they can do. So I'm going to mention a few of them here. RRJ Web. If you have a broken website or you would like to create a website, RRJ Web can help you. They can help fix whatever problems you may be having with your website. Sir Synergy. Sir Synergy has been on the show a couple of weeks ago. If you are interested in learning how solar panels can help you save money, definitely click on the panel and go over. Oh my goodness. I just saw some pop up on the chat. Jewel Black, all the way down in Texas, just popped in and said they're in the middle of a tornado. So y'all be safe down there in Texas. Be very careful. But Sir Synergy will help you understand how you can save money with solar panels and solar energy. Port Again Sam. Port Again Sam is my man from since way back, 10 plus years. And he brings in some of the best wines and spirits from all over the world. And I tell you, if you have not had a tasting with Port Again Sam, you are cheating yourself. You need to definitely uh, make an appointment, go over there and get your own wine tasting so you can find your new favorite wine or cognac. Okay. And Prince Hunter Financial Group, we're going to talk about him because he is our star for the day. And like he told me to say in the beginning, I'm going to give him 3 times in one introduction. Back by popular demand, my friend, my brother, Mr. Norman Hurd. Welcome back to the show, my brother.
Thank you for having me again. How you doing, man?
Did I do good with
Yep,
the
yep.
back by
I'm seeing you
popular
a check
demand?
under the table. Check is
Okay.
check in a
All
minute.
right. Cool, cool, cool. Well, Norman has been on the show before, and like you've heard me talk about, if you're interested in learning about the stock market, the forex market, how it works, how you can make money at it, there are millionaires literally made, from doing what he teaches you how to do. And it's also millionaires broken too. Let me add that to it. There's plenty of people that bite that apple, and the next thing you know, they jumping out of a building because they didn't, follow their own advice and and put some of that money to the side, you know. But it is definitely a very finicky industry, and if you don't know anybody that can help you navigate through these murky waters, you could wind up, doing yourself some, very, very bad damage. Now, Norman and I came in contact with each other some years ago, And it's very interesting because when I first met Norman, it was after a crash and burn. Now, if you don't know what a crash and burn is, I'm going to explain it to you. I have put my money into an account and didn't know what I was doing and blew my money up. Okay. And then some years later, I was still walking around scorned and hurt, because I got beat up like most people do,
Right.
you know. and and then I ran into Norman. And I gotta tell y'all, Norman did not have any mercy or pity on me whatsoever. You know,
Nope.
when 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 I told him what happened to me, he's like, "So," and and I was like, "But bruh, I lost my money," And then he sent me a video. I never will forget this. He sent me this video, and in the monologue of this floor trader, he was doing a convention somewhere. In the monologue of the floor trader, he was saying most people crash and burn and blow their money up within the what first 6 months,
Less than that sometimes.
less than that,
Yeah.
30 days or something like
Yeah.
that. And I was like, so I'm in good company. I lost my money, and I was thinking that I was, somebody just totally, you know, unique. How do you
Right.
blow up your money? But since then, I've learned so much, dealing with him, and he's been able to educate me. I didn't know how much I didn't know until I started talking to Norman.
Right.
So, once again, welcome to the show. I know I gave you a big build up, but I want people to know that you're not somebody that I just met, at the
Right.
grocery store. I want people to know that you and I have a relationship.
Yeah.
You
You
know,
you don't want them to think I paid you to let me be on your show.
well, I've been trying to get him to pay me, but he won't. Look, he keep telling me take the class. And I did.
Yeah.
So once I started taking the class, it has been a blessing to me. And I have to say this, and I ain't gonna be keep blowing your head up all show, but the information is invaluable. Because there's so many people, and like the young lady I was just mentioning, that's in the middle of a tornado down in Texas, who sent me a chat just a second ago. Um, she has been trading, and she absolutely does not know what she's doing. And she said that to me, and I said, "Well, you need to meet Norman, you know, because Norman can help you with whatever you are doing and wherever you are in your learning curve to understand what you need to know and where you need to go in this."
Right.
So, I advertise, and I'm gonna let you explain, since we're at the top of the show, when I say this, what exactly I'm talking about. I tell people, if you get in touch with Norman, he's going to give you 4 free classes
Session.
as as a promotion. So, please explain what it is that they, would be getting exposed to. You say session, I say class.
Mhm.
So, what's a session? Because I don't even know what a session is.
So basically, the session kind of curtails itself to where, like you just mentioned about her. So she's already been trading. She has some experience with charts and computers and the market and some news and information, and trying to capitalize on the information. So I would have to meet her where she's at, and then we just go through where she may need to review or just build up a little bit more courage and knowledge on what she's actually trading. Like, I don't know her, I've never met her, so I don't know if she's in the stock market, she's in the futures market, is she's trading options, is she's trading the forex market. So there's so many different avenues to making money in this game, but some people just don't know where to start, so they start with what they think is the cheapest or the easiest thing to do, and sometimes that's not the best medicine for trying to get better at something. So
Absolutely.
a session could be, let's talk about support and resistance, let's talk about the S&P 500, or let's talk about Apple. Everything has a personality. a tree has a personality because it's going to grow this way toward the sun, and just like you may lean more toward a pessimistic mentality, that means you think the market is always going to go down. So you have to learn how to use that demeanor or disposition that you have in your trading. So you have to trade like how you think, and that's going to help curb a lot of losses.
Yeah, absolutely. Shout out to Miss Yvonne Gray. She's tuned in. Thank you for tuning in. Yvonne has been on the show before. She's been a student of yours for a while,
Yeah.
and you have identified her on more than one occasion as a what master trader, a good trader.
Yeah, she's a phenom, man. She the female LeBron James of the market in my world because she hit a bump in the road, and then she took a brief hiatus, maybe 6 months, maybe 8 months, and then when she came back, she just took off, and her skill got so much better and unbelievable to me. So I applaud her for her skill now.
Yeah, yeah. She gave me some very good regurgitated words of wisdom of yours. One of my problems that I have as a trader is that I overthink things.
Hmm.
So yesterday we were talking and she was saying, just don't think about it, just take the trade. I was like, you know what? Norman says I overthink things all the time, and you're right. You both were right, and she picked that up just in the conversation I was having with her,
Hmm.
and it didn't help me today, but I know what the problem is now.
Hey,
You know,
Ron, somebody just texted me and said they can't hear you. I don't know if
they can't hear me. Okay,
that's what they said.
yeah.
I hear you good though, but I
Okay,
don't know. Maybe
well,
that's on
tell
their
them to
side.
turn the volume up on their, on their device,
But
whatever
that's
that
yeah,
device might be.
yeah. Only one person sent that. So, but keep going. I'm
Yeah,
sorry.
yeah. No, so, and that was very briefly.
Hmm.
Okay, Shay Williams, I cannot hear Dr. Ron. Okay, we're gonna need you to turn the volume up on your device, and then that might help. You hear a little bit better. Okay. Uh, Okay, so somebody else just said they can't hear me. Okay, let me do this. We're going to fix this problem right now. Y'all stand by 1 second, and I'm going to give y'all some more volume. How's that? Let's see. We can always fix problems when there's a problem. Okay, is that better? Y'all hit me in the chat and let me know if that's a little bit better. Okay, because I just kicked my volume up a little bit more just to see if that will help on the broadcast. All right, let's see. Okay, so yeah, the chats are coming in. Thank you guys for chiming in. Appreciate it. Even in Texas, they say the volume is low. Okay. Let me try one other thing here. Let's see if I can get this volume to go up to the roof for y'all. That's not the way I want to do it. All right, stand by, y'all. I'm gonna give y'all some more volume. Hold on. Okay, let's try that. Let's see if that works. Let me know if that's even better. Okay. All right, we'll keep on going and see if it gets any better. I just heard a couple of people say hi to each other, or saw a couple of people say hi to each other. So, when you meet a student
Hmm.
and you're talking to them, you're going to find out where they are, what their feelings are about trading, and then you're going to, tutor them into a better feeling about what they don't know or what they need to know. Because when I came into you, I didn't know anything about terminology,
Right.
nothing, you know. And I was saying, I'm gonna put it in here and I'm gonna get it out there. And you was like, no, 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 no. There's a terminology that goes along with this, and and I didn't know nothing about
Yeah,
it.
I tell people, this is a whole nother language. Financial literacy is really about vocabulary. You have to understand what you're saying, because you can't call the broker desk because your internet just failed and you're in a trade and say, hey, I was sitting in this trade and this happened to me and my internet failed. I want you to take me out of this position. That's not how you tell them what to do. You have to say, hey, I'm long five S&P contracts. I need you to get me short or get me flat. They understand.
Mm-hmm.
You just can't say anything. So you have to speak the proper language.
Absolutely. Yep, absolutely. I totally agree. You know what? I might have another situation going on. I'm trying to figure out why my audio would be low in this scenario, and I think I might know what it is. Y'all bear with me while I'm adjusting my audio to get it so where y'all can appreciate it that much better. Let's go here and testing 1, 2, 3. Let's see if I can get it up some more. I'm working on it, y'all.
Yeah, you're fine on my end. So
Yeah, I got it. Check 1, 2. There we go. I found it. Yep. Okay. Let's see if that's better. Let's get it up some more. Check 1, 2, 3. Now you should hear me. Everybody should be able to hear me great now. No problem. I had a little something going on here where I can get some more volume in it for you guys. Is that better? Yes, a little better. Okay, let's get a little bit more for you. All right. So keep talking, Norman, while I adjust this.
yeah, somebody they just responded, said you're a little faint, but and said the
Is it
math.
getting better now?
No. They said you were faint and that.
Way better. Okay, I
Oh,
just got way better on my end.
okay. So
Yeah.
we're gonna run
Okay.
with that one.
Okay. That'll work. Okay. All right. So once again, you know, let's deal with this. This is a common situation that I had. The fear of losing. Let's talk about that.
Go ahead.
Go ahead. Now, I came to you with schisms and isms. I
Right.
already know.
Right.
I had problems from Jump Street. I'm like, man, I ain't trying to lose no more money. So let's deal with the fear of losing.
So the way I explain it away to people is you have to understand losing is a part of trading. Just such as life, death is to life, like life is to death. They're the same. They're the same on two ends of the same spectrum. So you can't get around it. You have to learn how to manage it, just like managing your life. If you want to live longer, obviously everyone tells you to eat healthier. Don't drive without a seatbelt. That's being more conscious of how you live your life. So when it comes to trading, you have to understand that every trade is not going to be a winner. And it's a probability game. And that's what people don't understand, because a lot of people come to this business from a regular job mentality. Mm-hmm. So they think all I got to do is show up, do my job, and I'll get a check on Friday or 2 weeks from now. That's not how this works. Your job as a trader is to be a money manager. And what I tell people, my job isn't to get you my job isn't to teach you how to trade. My job is to get you to think like a trader, because there's so many ways to make money. You have to learn how to develop an edge. But let me go back to the probability side. 7 out of 10 times, that's 70%. 50 out of 10 times, or 5 out of 10 times, that's 50%. There's no guarantees in this world, but everyone wants an easy way to make money. So the best way I'm going to try to make it relative to people is, if you have a regular job, and let's say you live in the south suburbs of any city, to get downtown, you may have to drive from your house to the train, get on the train, go downtown, and feed yourself downtown. So you got to pay gas to get home to the train. You got to pay the train ticket. You got to get to the job. And let's say you didn't bring lunch. All that is about paying into you doing your job. So it's still a loss. You just don't think of it that way, because it's still coming out of a paycheck. Guess what? That you haven't gotten yet. Mm-hmm. You're still waiting for the money to come back to you, so you can feel like you're ahead of the curve again once you get your check. But you done spent, what, $25 a day, maybe $15 a day, or however they pay the fare on the train per month. and however much gas you got to get back and forth into the grocery store. So the loss is built into the game. So you have to learn how to be a manager of that. So cut your losses
Mm-hmm.
early. You can't cut losses early because the train people ain't gonna say, no, you can only, no, we ain't gonna take your $5 this month. We need you to pay $50 this month, every month. So you
Mm-hmm.
can't get around it.
Yeah. And it's interesting. J Dub Illusion says Big Norm in the house. Uh, I'm sure that's one of your
Yeah,
students.
I know that.
Yeah. Now, one time you gave me a one for one story.
Hmm.
Okay. And it has something to do with the casino. We were talking about the casino
Hmm.
and how trading, you know, they were kind of like a one for one type story. Like and I don't go to casino because I don't like losing. Okay, so so you remember that story?
But maybe it was about risk management and just understanding
Mm-hmm.
like there's a risk in everything, and it's how you approach it and how you understand how to be a manager. Some people aren't good money managers, and you can tell by how they manage their time, how they manage their life. It's going to show up in how they manage their finances.
Mm.
I'm trying to think of the exact story we were talking about, but
Well, I mean, well, let me help you out. Part of that story was, um, if you put a dollar in one of those machines, you expect to win.
right.
Okay, but that doesn't mean
Oh,
that you're gonna win.
so that goes back to the probability side of this game. You have to
Mm-hmm.
do the same thing. If you find a strategy that works 80% of the time, would you skip it when it showed up and do something else? No, you do that same thing because it has proven itself to you that it is valuable. And that's what you have to learn how to do. Find a strategy that fits your personality. If you don't have the demeanor to hold a position during the day, you may be the one that only wants to look at the stock market once a week or once a day or once a month. Those Me saying that is not me being random. That is literally how some people trade with strategies.
Mm-hmm.
Once a month is fine for most people. And as long as the market is doing what they needed to do, there's nothing for them to do. So we so busy trying to be hands-on and make it do what we want it to do when that's not how the game works. Your job is to mitigate risk and the market's job is to pay you. That's it.
Yeah. Now I'm gonna quote one of your phrases out of your book that you haven't written yet. Yeah, the book I'm talking about, the
I know.
phrase I got.
Right.
Yeah. I remember the day that you told me, "Do you want to make money or do you want to be right?"
Yeah. And a lot of
Let,
people,
let,
yeah.
talk about that because
A lot
that's
of
deep
people
right
struggle
there.
with that. They don't have a concept of understanding of that phrase is so true. You could be in a trade and just it's going against you. You're losing money, but you refuse to change your mind. That's the definition of insanity, as they say. So your
Right.
cognitive dissonance isn't working because you want to be right. And if you are right, guess what? You're gonna make $10. Meanwhile, you done lost $1,000 along the way. So the struggle is struggle is real. And that's what
Oh
makes
my
it
God.
tough for people. Like I say, coming from a regular job mentality, I've been doing this 30, what is this? 23 years for me. 23, almost 25 years trading. And all of them was in good years. I was that person that bumped his head every day, every week, every month. I blew up many trading accounts until I realized I had to stop and just realize who I was as a person. So that's what I tell people. I just did a session on Sunday with somebody, and I told them trading has nothing to do with money. It is all psychology.
Mm,
You're going to learn who you are. If you think you're not greedy, guess what? It's going to show up.
man, please,
If you think you ain't scared, it's going to show up. Because you
please.
could be in a perfect trade and make $200 and happy with that. Why? Because $200 a day is $4,000 a month. That's a good living. But then when you look back, you got out early and you left $2,000 on the table. What do? You struggle with that. So you have to be willing to realize, like I told you before, all of it ain't your money. Missed money better than lost money. Oatmeal is better than no meal. Take what you know you can get. You got to come up with some rules for yourself. And that's what a lot of people struggle as individuals. So trading isn't just about money, it's about growing as a person. So if you have no rules to yourself, you'll be a horrible gambler, you'll be a horrible trader, you'll be a horrible husband and a horrible wife and a horrible child and a horrible employee until you get somebody to give. And you only bend those rules when somebody else is giving you money. But now if you're paying yourself, you can be as flexible as you want to. And that can cost you if you don't know how to be a good trader or have good discipline.
Yeah, you got a whole lot of amen section over here. Shay said that quote is plastered on the wall above my desk. Yvonne said powerful words with a lot of exclamation points. So people that have been working with you or you working with them, because it's a two-way street.
Right.
You do have a lot of growth and development. And in the process of working with you and you working with them. So what would you say this is a person or this type of person would be somebody you don't want to have nothing to do with? I know that's a hard question because I know, there's always some kind of lifeline or hope or help for people who are trying to improve themselves. But what happens? Okay. Now, I'm not going to mention no names or nothing like that, but I'm going to tell you this story that you told me about a person that they just totally lost and you don't even know what to do to help them. And I've never heard you say those words.
Okay. I know who you're talking about. Okay. So it's not that I don't want to help that person. What it is that person is battling internal issues. And those issues are showing up in her finances. Made me say her, by the way.
I didn't do that. You did that.
It showed up in her finances and her trading strategy. So, either the money isn't coming fast enough or the trade doesn't show up fast enough. And then it's taking too long. Patience. You got to have patience. You have to wait for your setup. And it's not that I don't want to work with those type of people. It's just those people take longer to break their own psyche. That's the thing. Because they're not going to see a psychiatrist on how to get better or a psychologist on how to get better. It's just they keep doing the same thing, or they have these big dream expectations because the stock market on TV is this big glamorous Lamborghini money life. And the Lamborghini money ain't for everybody. It takes money to make money. A lot of people don't understand that the money it takes, you have to be willing to lose that. You got to be willing to put it on the table. And some people aren't willing to take that risk. So they want small risk. And there's nothing wrong with small risk. You should risk, $50 or $10 or $100 every day, because out of that 7 out of 10 times or that 8 out of 10 times, you may lose the $700, but next thing you know, that next trade turns around and pays you $5,000. That's why it's back to probability. You have to keep doing the same thing. Don't change. You have a strategy that you like, then continue to use it. So part of the sessions or my classes that I teach is that I give people every class. A basic class has maybe 7 to 10 different strategies. The advanced class has 7 to 10 different strategies. The professional class, 7 to 10, and even the option class. So now you got all these different strategies, maybe 40 different strategies. But while you're learning these different strategies, my job is to show you your metrics. Your metrics are going to tell you what you're good at. Hey, this strategy, this one you did 80%. Every time you took it, you had a great trade. This one you did 30%. Okay, we kick that out. We don't use that. And we get 3. We just narrow it down to 3. And that's it.
So let me ask you a question. So a person that may not have any experience whatsoever with the market or Forex or anything, have never They just heard it's a good way to make some money.
Right.
Would that be a good candidate to come deal with you in your way of teaching? Now I'm gonna tell you, it's about 20 people on this list here that said nope, don't do it. But yeah, but what would you say would be a good criteria?
For a person to be a trader to come in,
To come to you
to
in your
come to me.
class. Yeah, because like you deal with people, of all different statues of life,
Mm-hmm.
and some people have better personalities because they're people, people,
Right.
and then some folks, they don't even know anything about what you're talking about, strategies, trading, they don't even know what those words mean. So would that be a good candidate to begin as a beginner?
Yes, because part of it is you have to have as you said earlier, some people they don't know what they don't know until you don't know it. Hey, I didn't know this was possible. I just talked to somebody the other day. I didn't know this was possible. I didn't know I could do this. Why do you want the stock market to go down? Because you can make money. Well, how's that possible? So those kind of questions, some of them are very simple answers. Listen, they let you sell something you don't own. That's the best, simplest answer I can give someone. But to be a candidate, you just have to want to know this game. Unfortunately, there are no rules to this game for you as an individual. You have to make your own rules. So I look for people who have maybe disposable dollars, to be able to put into the stock market. And even if you don't have disposable dollars, guess what? You only live in one time, so you better learn how to take a chance on yourself and stop waiting for white daddy to give you a job.
Oh no, he didn't say white daddy.
I can't sugarcoat it.
I know that's
Why
right,
go
brother.
work for somebody else when you can find a way to be your own boss?
Yeah, we got a couple of questions that are popping up on the chart here. J Dub says, do you teach reading charts, Fibonacci numbers, etc.?
The answer is yes. I don't like Fibonacci. I don't use Fibonacci, but I understand Fibonacci. So if someone wants to look at it, it's just a circle of math. It's there. It's in the universe. Fibonacci is in a blade of grass. It's in everything. So yes, I do.
It's a type of indicator, right?
Correct.
Okay. The next question is, how does inflation and the impending recession impact the markets?
Well, impending is a very key word, but I believe we're already in a recession. So it just hasn't shown up in the market yet. But that goes into understanding the back room or the science of trading. A lot of people don't know there's a science to this game. There's a reason why they laying off jobs, but the stock market just went up for the past 2 days, Friday, Monday, and today. So there's things going on behind the scenes that people need to learn.
So when a person trying to find their way, what would be a good time frame, for a person to begin to put aside, like, okay, you put in 8 to 10 hours a day at a job, for 40 hours a week or 50 hours a week, to go home with that scenario you gave with riding, getting your train fare and all of that kind of stuff. So what would you say would be a good time frame for a person that's trying to get into this arena?
How long to expect a return to be able to put real money?
No. Just like how much time should they dedicate to this?
To dedicate every day.
Yes.
You have to do something every day. I got students that I teach right now, and I kind of fuss. Like, you should be calling me every day for 10 minutes, sometimes an hour. It doesn't matter. You should call every day because there's something I can teach you, show you, and explain to you that you have no idea. So whether it's, I'll be honest, this is what I tell people. If you could check the weather, you could trade the market, literally. It really is that simple. And that's the hard part for people to understand, that trading isn't easy. No, it is simple, though.
Yeah. Aaron said there are always winners in a recession.
Yeah.
Yeah, and J Dub saying there are always winners and losers.
Yeah.
You know, I never will forget one time, and I relate back to what you have, always instructed me. You told me that I need to put in, and this might just be for me, 2 hours per day, and don't give up on it. Stick with it. 2 hours per day, and be religious to it. And then now, after the open every day, every 2 hours, he can set a watch to it. He'll pick up. He got some biscuits going on. I'm finna call and mess with him right now. He
Yeah.
never fails. As soon as I get my plate set on the table, then he shows up, either knocking on the door or calling on the phone. Put them biscuits down. What'd you do today?
Because that's because I know your schedule for the most part, and then B, I know when you should be done trading for the morning session.
Mm-hmm.
Because the excitement is over. We finna hit the midday doldrums. Where the senior broker tells the junior broker, "Hey, keep an eye on things. I'm finna go to lunch for 2 hours. Call me if something happens."
Mm-hmm.
So midday, you're gonna go through that lull. It's gonna lull you to sleep. I used to be in that. I used to think I could trade all day long, and 11 o'clock is lunchtime in New York. And meanwhile, they gone for 2 hours in the market just doing nothing.
Right.
They call it diddling in the middle. That's what they call it. It's just there. It's not doing anything. So you're trying to force it to give you what you want. And meanwhile, guess what? I done gave back some of the money I made this morning. Some more money I made this morning. Some more. Now I'm really depressed and pissed off that I done gave 50% of the money back. So now you should stay away from the lunchtime hour. Trade the last hour and a half of the day when the excitement is back in.
Mm-hmm.
So, and again, that's just a simple edge that people should have.
Mm-hmm. Now, let me ask this question: what do you feel about the different trading cycles? Like, we know the American market opens up at 8:30 in the morning, and then then you have the European market, then you got the Asian market. Talk about that a little bit.
I mean, as the movie said, Wall Street, money never sleeps.
Mm-hmm.
It never sleeps. It's going on. I just told someone again on Sunday, Sunday. Money is floating around in thin air. You have to learn how to get what's yours. So those different time frames, take advantage of them. And guess what? Because it's a different time of day doesn't mean the strategy doesn't work. Because institutional traders, most retail traders, they all kind of look at the same thing, and some have more privy information than others that you can get, but you got to pay for it. But the time frame doesn't mean anything. If you work a 9 to 5 or 11 to 7 or a 2 to 10, there's still a way for you to make some money.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Now this is something I got to touch on because I think I'm gonna help somebody when I say this. When I first met you, I didn't have this bad habit myself of trading on the phone.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, yeah. I don't know why people try it.
I need you to talk about that for a second. Okay?
That's the worst thing you can do, because you're not getting, unless you're already in the trade and you're up whatever the amount that you want to be up or even down. You have to know how to close the trade. But to actually just only look at the trade or only look at the phone, I just got a new student in November, and he was kind of always on his phone trading. And then once he's really sat down with me and I helped him with his charts and how to look at the computer the right way and build everything properly, he said, yeah, this ain't nothing like what I thought it would be. He said, this is way better.
Mm-hmm.
And then he kind of threw away all the people that he was kind of following on YouTube and stuff like that. And he was like, they ain't talking about nothing that you saying, Norman. Because they, goes back to the science. You have to understand why something is doing something.
Yeah. Knowledge is power.
Yeah, knowledge is power.
Yeah. And it's funny because when I hear people tell me that they took a trade on their phone, I say, huh? What? Take a trade on your phone? Yeah. And then they use platforms
Mm-hmm.
that professionals don't use.
Right.
You know, I'll just say it like that.
Right.
You know, something like Robin Hood or something like that. You know, and I'm like, do you know anything about Robin Hood? You know, you know,
No.
you
No.
know. So,
And
all
it's
right,
more of a
let's.
convenience thing too. Some people just want to be convenient, like a remote control in their house or their TV. They just want to be able to look. Oh, I can see the market in the palm of my hand. Yeah, that don't mean you got all the right information though.
Man, they coming for you, brother. They
Come
coming for
on,
you.
bring it on.
Yeah, he said. J Dub said, "Is there a trading platform that you recommend?"
Yes, I do recommend Ninja Trader, Trade Station. Those are more higher up professional platforms, but they don't cost a lot of money. And then you have Thinkorswim. That's a platform that I recommend. You just want to. The bottom line is you want a platform that is going to afford you the ability to practice well, not just practice.
Mm-hmm.
So those three, number one for me.
Okay. Well, that's great. So now I know we bouncing around talking
That's
about a lot
okay.
of stuff all over the place. Was there anything in particular that you would like to, put out there on today that, like I know you got a lot of your students out here that are listening and they're hitting us with questions. J Dub says Citadel made 16 billion in net profits last year. How did they do that?
I didn't follow Citadel, so I couldn't even answer that question.
Okay, Citadel is a stock.
He could tell me better than I could tell you.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I've never heard of Citadel either. 16 billion. So, was there
I'm
something?
not a billionaire. If I was a billionaire, I would know that answer. So
I know that's right, brother. So, is there something in particular that you want to emphasize while we got the time?
for everybody sitting on the fence, because there's some people in here I know that I sent this link out to that aren't a part of my classes yet. You've been taking chances all your life, driving to work, going to school, eating. Take a real chance on yourself with your finances and be in more control.
Mm-hmm.
Have some true ownership. It may change who you are right now, but that could be for the better.
Mm-hmm.
You have to take a chance on yourself. Try something different. Whether you fail or not, you can, what's going to happen is you're either going to get addicted or you're never going to come back.
And Lord knows, addiction is definitely
And
part of it.
right.
Yeah, when you put in hour after hour after hour of studying charts and practicing, it becomes part of it. It's so crazy. I was talking to Norman over the weekend, and I was saying, man, you got me all messed up, man. I look at charts when I wake up in the morning. I look at charts when I go to bed at night. I'm like,
Yeah.
I used to have different habits, but now I'm looking at charts.
The futures market is a 23.5 hour day business. It doesn't sleep. Why
Mm-hmm.
not learn how to take some money out of the air?
Yeah.
I'm sure everyone on whatever level they live could be, okay, give me extra $50 a day or $100 a day. And when you see how fast it comes, I got the student that started in November. He said, his first kind of go around with practice with me, he said, it's just that easy, huh? But he has edges. It's not just easy, it's about how to develop an edge. And there is no edge in having a regular job. I'm sorry.
Mm-hmm.
The only edge you got having a regular job is how you get to work. You're going to take the train or you're going to take the expressway.
Exactly. All right. Jones says 10,000 hours of practice.
Exactly.
Yeah. J Dub said it's a trading company. Citadel is a trading company. Yeah.
Commissions and anything else you could think of. They try to trade in the markets, and people or institutions with that much money can hold trades longer than retail traders.
Mm-hmm.
They're gonna to hold an S&P contract overnight, which is literally 45 minutes. It's going to cost you $11,000 per contract to have in your trading account.
Mm-hmm.
But if you don't have it, you can't do it. So you can't take advantage of a 6-month long ride with one trade.
Mm-hmm.
You got to jump in, jump out, jump in, jump out. Find a way to
Mm-hmm.
find your edge along the way as to develop that.
Mm-hmm. So what do you think would be the one key information that people you have talked to that have not started taking your class as of yet? What do you think is instrumental or key for them to know or hear you talk about right now?
I would say, going back to what I just said a minute ago, some people are just too fearful. The fear of the unknown is what will keep anybody from doing anything. You're not going to go down that alley if you ain't never been in that alley before. You know, if you live next door to that alley and your bedroom is off the alley, you done lived there 10 years. It ain't hard to kind of walk down the alley to go into the back of the house. But now you're trying to take something with your finances and your money, quote unquote hard earned money, to try to make to try to build something new, pass on a
Mm-hmm.
legacy to your children. And sometimes, and I think I've said this before on your show, I tell people, if you over 40, this is not for you. You're not doing this for you. You're doing this to pass on to your child, to your kids, to have them be able to take advantage of this opportunity that was never given to us. You know, my mom might be watching because I told her to watch, but my mom worked at the Chicago Mercantile Exchange, but she
Mm-hmm.
wasn't a trader. So she didn't come home and have this information to tell me. I started writing my book, and when my daughter was 4, she's 23.
Mm-hmm.
So at some point in time, you have to be able to pass this information on. So if you are sitting on the fence, have something real to pass on, because the financial institution world is not going anywhere.
Mm-hmm.
Stock market been around over 100 years.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. Anything else you want to say to them?
Not really. Any questions anybody else has? I'm all
I
for it.
don't see. Okay. Where can we buy your book? That's from Sharon King.
Well, that comes with the class. You're not going to get it. I don't think I'm going to publish the book. I'm actually going to. It's for the people who actually take the class. That book right now literally is over 800 pages long,
Mm-hmm.
and it's not a simple read. I mean, it ain't easy. It's a simple read, but with that development of the strategies and skills, you have to implement stuff. You got to do
Mm-hmm.
things in the book. So it's for the people who actually take the class.
So it's more like a workbook. You have
Yeah,
assignments, do
yeah.
this, do that. Now, I know you mentioned earlier in the conversation that you had different levels. You had the beginners,
Hmm.
So would this book be for everyone, or would it be just like a portion of the book would be for the beginners?
So
You know,
exactly. So I wrote the book in that fashion, a basic part, an advanced part, and as you take those classes, you get that piece of the book.
okay.
I'm not gonna give you 1,200 pages and you sitting on page, you still in the basic. You don't need it yet.
Mm-hmm.
And at that time, you may say, I don't want to do this no more, or I need to take a break. Okay, so now my information isn't out there to the public, to the world who don't technically deserve it. But when you say, I want to go to the next level, then you get the next piece of the book. You go to the next level, then you get the next piece of the book.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And for those that don't know, PrinceHunter.com is his website. You can go over there. You can send him your information, and he will have someone get back in here. I ain't gonna say he gonna do it, but he'll have somebody in his administrative staff get in touch with you to vet you out, because he ain't got time to waste. I'm gonna speak up for him on his behalf on this fact. Just like he called me, when them biscuits hit the plate, because he know what my schedule is. I know what his schedule is too. And after he get through messing with me and my biscuits, that don't sound right. But after he keep messing with me, then he got 5 to 10 more people after me to check on.
Yeah, I'm
You
on the
know,
phone sometimes all day, all morning. And
yeah.
the better people become in the classes, from the classes, the less I have to talk to them. So I understand in the beginning that I'm on the phone with you sometimes hours throughout the day in the morning. But
Mm-hmm.
just like, Yvonne and Shay have taken a class, that I used to talk to them 3, 4 hours in the morning, literally. And then the better they became, the less they needed to call me. So now instead of, hey, what should I do? It turns into, hey, this is what I did today, Norman. Okay, great. How much you made? What'd you trade? I traded this. I traded Apple. I did an S&P contract. I did an option on Tesla. Okay, cool. How many trades? Great. Good job. Call me tomorrow.
Mm-hmm. And that's basically how it goes.
Yeah.
Because I'm going to tell y'all, I'm not a morning person, okay? You know, I've been in the entertainment industry for 50 plus years. And first thing in the morning is not my strong suit because I'm up late at night doing shows, things like that. So I try to get as much sleep as I can, you know, in the early part of the day. And when I first started messing with Norman, you know, meet me online at 6 a.m. I said, huh?
Yeah.
6 a.m.? Why I got to get up so early? Just meet me at 6 a.m.
And I'm going to answer that too, even though that wasn't a question, because this is what some people don't know. Most people think ding, ding, ding at 8:30 is when the market officially opens. That's when it officially opens. But that thing is trading at 3 o'clock Central Time, a.m. every day, Monday through Sunday or Monday through Friday.
Mm-hmm.
So think about what you could be doing. Yeah, you may give up a few hours of sleep, but the market is already open. Right. Guess what? That's an edge for some people because they're done before 8:30 in the morning.
Absolutely.
Then you got the whole rest of your day to yourself. I'm on the West Coast right now in Las Vegas, but I love being over here because the market opens at 6:30. And if I'm done by 7:30, 8 o'clock, I got the rest of the day to play golf and cut grass or build or paint a wall or whatever I need to get done in the day. Take advantage of the time.
Yeah. And it's a lot of money that can be made in that time of morning. And once I learned that, then I was able to embrace getting up that time of morning and doing what needed to be done to be ready for when my first trade, my second trade, if I even get to a third trade.
Right.
You know, because one thing you said earlier, you find out about your greed.
Yeah.
Okay. You know, and I learned how to keep myself in check. I have a goal.
Right.
And I'm just speaking about me. I have a goal that I need to make every week. If I make my goal this week, I'm done. I don't have to keep, overindulging. And then sometimes, like you have said, my problem is I like to overthink. You know, sometimes I'm looking at stuff trying to figure out how that happened the way that it did. I never will forget about a week or so ago, I was telling you, man, I made money, but I don't know how. And he was like, so what? You made money. Why are you tripping? you know, but that was the facts of it. But I just wanted to get better at it so that I duplicate the process over and over and over again to the point where it's second nature.
Right.
And I'm able to produce that same amount over and over and over again. And it can happen.
Yeah.
You know, it can happen. You know, and then, like one day I called you up and I told you, hey, man, I didn't have a good day. And then what'd you do? And it's so funny, I swear to God. This boy here, and I say boy out of love, y'all.
I understand.
Yeah, look, he called me. He said, why you didn't call me? I said, because I ain't do too good. He said, I knew that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You know, because when the market beat up on you, you don't feel like talking to nobody. I know I don't. Mm-hmm. You know, like, man, I'm mad at the world.
You got to get rid of it. You got to get rid of that emotion as fast as it comes. You got to be like, okay, it's a bad day. It's like a flat tire on the way to work. You don't expect it tomorrow.
Yeah, it's just funny, though, because I was like, man, I let this thing get me. You know, and I knew better. Mm-hmm. You know, I did some stupid stuff and it got me. You know, like, okay, all right, I'll be waiting on you tomorrow with a baseball bat. Come on around that corner. You know, mm-hmm. and it has helped improve my mentality and my attitude about approaching the market. You know, and that's what you got to have, a good attitude, you know, to when you approach it, so that you don't have those battle scars accumulate on you. You know, because it's gonna get you and you're gonna get it.
Yeah.
Well, look, man, we got about 5 minutes left. I think we talked about your website. We talked about your book and your workbook. Anything else that you think would be relevant, towards, wanting to help people understand what you do and how you do it?
I would say just, give me a call and let's talk about it, because so many people think they can't fit this in their life. You can fit this in your life. You just don't know how. And it's all based on the strategy that you choose to use. And I go back to what I said earlier, which was, if you can check the weather in the morning before you go to work, you can check the stock market on a trading position that you're already in to determine if you should stay in it or not.
Mm-hmm.
Period. Yeah. So it is just that simple.
Yeah, it really is. I remember you and I, a trade, you called me up in the afternoon right before the end of the closing day. And you say, get in this right now. Don't even hesitate. Just get in it right now. Mm-hmm. I said, okay. So I jumped in it. And it was based off some news that was, that it came out,
mm-hmm.
And then I jumped in it. And I wasn't near my computer to close out the trade
mm-hmm.
At the end of the trading day. And the next morning, when that trade opened up, man, I was in the hole $10,000. I was like, man, what just happened here?
Mm-hmm.
And I was up probably about 6,000 before the trading day had came about, and I should have just closed the trade. And if I wanted to get back in it, I should have got back in it.
So your greed kicked in and made you hold on.
I was just busy that day,
Okay.
You can call it what you want to call it, but it was a mistake that I learned from. I learned a very important lesson. If I got an open trade, monitor it, stay close to it, and pay attention to what's going on with it.
And to that point, a lot of people don't know when you're trading the market, you can lock in profit and then
Absolutely.
Go to sleep.
Yep.
You don't have to leave this trade open and put all that current value or money at risk.
Right.
So a lot of people don't even know that they can do that.
Right. We got another question that popped in. J Dub says, "What about trading cryptos?"
I knew it was him. I don't trade cryptos, but if you're interested in it, then you should look into it. Obviously, it's not a regulated thing, but with what just happened over there in the Bahamas, I have a conspiracy theory around that, because I think for that much $1 trillion to $1 billion to be lost, now the government can now step in and regulate something that they could not touch before.
Right.
So if you want to trade cryptos, go right ahead. I remember, I wish I did it when I seen the Bitcoin was down there around $2.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So,
and I did a little trading of crypto in the beginning when it was like $100 for a Bitcoin.
Yeah.
And when it went up, I cashed out and I put money in my pocket. And it has been on a roller coaster with Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies. The thing about it, anybody can create one.
Right.
And that's the problem. If you are dealing with a cryptocurrency that doesn't seem to be reputable, it could be a Ponzi scheme, and you just got to do some research behind it, before you go deep diving into it. If it is being traded on a reliable bit chain, then more than likely there's some merit to it.
Right. Okay. And the market is so big and so vast with so many things. I can't specialize in everything. I know what I look at every day to make my money.
Right.
Do I care about Citadel? No, because I don't look at it. I don't care what they do. I know how I generate what I try to generate. I know what I teach. I know how to help people with that. So, it's so many things you can do.
Absolutely. All right, well, we got to get out of here, man. This conversation can go on and on. So I always ask 2 questions before I let my guests get out of here. The first question is, will you come back and visit with me again?
Sure, no problem.
Easy. Number 2, what would you like to leave with the people before you get out of here today?
Start taking personal accountability for everything, especially your money. Teach yourself, don't treat yourself.
Absolutely. Profound words. Well, once again, I want to thank my brother for coming on and being on the show with us today. profound words, wisdom and knowledge exceeding much. I appreciate him taking time out of his busy schedule because I promise you, he don't sleep. He is up all the time, and I don't care what time zone he's in. He's up, dealing with something. It's funny, and I've evolved to the point where I can have conversations with him now, on numbers. And I remember that was a hard thing at one point in time. He throw a number at me, and I'm like, oh yeah, I seen that number. I remember that number. So I've evolved to the point where I can have a decent conversation with him about, understanding what's going on in the market.
Right.
So once again, there's his information. Inquire about the 4 free classes. He gonna say sessions, but I'm gonna say classes because I don't know the difference. But call him up and say you want some free stuff, okay? And he'll understand what you're talking about and where you got it at.
Right.
So definitely reach out to him and talk to him about getting that knowledge. And knowledge is power, okay?
Great.
So I got to tell y'all what I call him. I came up with a nickname for him, I think about a month or so ago. I call him Sensei now, because he is a teacher, and not in the martial arts, but he's a teacher of trading, and he's a master teacher. So I encourage you to get that knowledge and learn what he can teach you so that you can make money doing what you're doing. So thank you once again, my brother.
You're welcome.
All right. All right. Now, look, I'm going to invite you guys to come out and see me tomorrow at 12 noon right here on YouTube and on Facebook on Street News Now. The Noon Report, where we're doing conversations about commentaries and latest news briefs that are out there. So join me right here on YouTube on Street News Now. Also join me each and every Saturday at 12 noon from the desk of Dr. Ron, where I will say something that's on my mind. You may like it and you may not, but still come check it out anyway. Definitely come check out what we'll be talking about. Coming up this year on Tuesdays, we're going to have a special guest host that's going to be coming in. Miss Brittany G is going to be chiming in. We're going to be catering the conversation to young people. So Miss Brittany G lives in the New York, New Jersey area, and she's going to be joining me in the conversation during the course of the year, starting next month on Tuesday. Also, I want to thank all those that have made donations and contributions to the show. I appreciate you. Thank you so very much. Continue to do so. Keep doing what you're doing. It helps make it possible for me to be able to do what I do here on the Ask Dr. Ron show. And please subscribe, like, and share. If you're here, hit that subscribe button, hit the like button, hit the share button. Let me know that you was here. Leave a comment. We had plenty of people chiming in today. I thank you guys, and I appreciate you guys. Spread the word. Send this video out. Norman, he don't sleep, so he can always use more students. So definitely, let's rally around. Let's make them this money and keep on doing what we got to do. So I appreciate you guys. Stay blessed. See you guys on tomorrow. Peace.